Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of the Confidently You podcast. It's me, your host and head coach at Fit Girl Club, women's lifestyle coach Helen. Hi, how are you? How have you been? How's your week been? How's your weekend been? How's your summer going? It's still so hot in the UK. Well, England. I'm sure if you live up in Scotland, it's not as hot, but yes, England's hot, 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 another heat wave. I have quite a few clients that live down south. Obviously, I'm in the north of England, if you didn't know, I'm in York, and it's still hot here, like really hot, like late 20s, early 30s. I think it's going to get up to 35 on Thursday, but I'm over at the East Coast on Thursday, so it'll be cooler over there, always is by the sea. But yeah, I have clients who live down south and they're like, Helen, it's just been hot since June, just relentless. So yeah, maybe it's that to look into investing in some aircon. We got some solar panels, and obviously when it's hot now, we just get free energy, which is great. You have to pay standing charges, obviously. And we did manage to get free solar panels, right? Because Martin is unemployed at the moment. So you got free ones off the government. And just FYI, if you look into that. But anyway, and yeah, so free energy in the summer. That's why we've got the hot tub out at the minute, because it's free, basically, and enjoying that. But some days it's far too hot for the hot tub anyway. But yeah, would be considering aircon. I know it's not good for the environment, but if you're using solar panels, at least then you're using renewable energy for it. But yeah, crazy, crazy world, isn't it? So hope you're all surviving in the heat still. And how's your summer holidays going? Are you still smashing it? Are you struggling? Have you had enough? Do the kids need to go back to school already? If you're in Scotland, I think the kids are nearly back at school anyway. If you're in the UK, you've got another 3 weeks. Hope you're surviving. And if you're struggling, don't worry, you're not alone. I know a lot of times in the school holidays, I speak to a lot of women who think, oh yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm going to have loads of time to focus on me and make the changes, and then it just all falls apart. So well done for you holding your head up above water and surviving. So I've had a really good week. I think I told you before that I'm not getting back into proper running training. I've booked a couple of races, but I'm not going to get back into proper series training until September. So I am actually just having a bit of fun. You call it fun? My idea of fun. I did a really fun CrossFit gym session last week. Now, I used to be a CrossFit coach. I used to do a lot of CrossFit, and I haven't done any in ages. It didn't really suit running. It's a lot of like heavy lifting and throwing stuff around and, WODs, which means workout of the day, by the way, if you didn't know. And you end up just doing like stuff that used to just batter me, just feel absolutely battered from it. So, seeing as I'm having a break where I'm still running, but I'm not focusing on running, I decided to do a CrossFit session. So I did that last Thursday, some heavy barbell squats and cleans, and then and split jerks, and then a WOD finisher. Workout of the day: wall balls, rowing, farmers carries, and sit ups. Really, really good. But then, my goodness, did I know about it the next day. So this is why I wasn't doing as much CrossFit when I was running. Because when you're focusing on running, you want to use your energy for running. Yes, you need to do strength training to complement it, but a lot of like throwing barbells around just isn't beneficial for a runner's body. And I get a schneck where my shoulder and my neck turn into one big muscle, and you get this pain. Oh, I didn't miss that, and my quads really hurt. And I'd promised I'd go out with Martin for a 10-mile run. Well, actually, it was meant to be 11 miles, but I got to mile 5 and I said, off you go for another half a mile, then come back and grab me. I sat and had a squares bar and some water because I was just feeling knackered. But it was my first big trail run back since the ultra, and I managed 10 miles, and it was a hot day, loads of hills, loads of uneven surfaces. I just had fun, just had a good time. And then we always have a car picnic after, before driving home, which was excellent. So that was really nice. I also met up with my friends on Friday night and had a barbecue. That was excellent. And I went to the spa with my mum on Sunday. Lovely, lovely, lovely. She treated me to a hot stone massage and a facial at Feversham Arms in Helmsley, which was very, very nice. We have been there before, but it must have been 10 years ago. And yeah, that was lovely to just be relaxed. So I've had a really good week. I'm feeling revived. If you're watching this, I actually look quite quite well, look quite well and hydrated, sleeping well, looking after myself. So it's nice to, sometimes I like to have a goal, and obviously I've got races coming up. November is a 24-mile race, which, to be honest with you, not to sound annoying, but I can just go out and do a 24 mile. I won't class that as like, that'll just be part of my training. And then obviously the one in March is my big one to work towards. So yeah, I might book some other ones in between them. But it's nice just till September, when I sign up to a group coaching program, just to take, a bit of pressure off. And I like to train, so I'll still go and do it. I'll still go do gym sessions and runs, and I'll do occasional runs and stuff, but no strict program to stick to for that. Anyway, I hope you're well. I wanted to talk today about something that, if you've not had consistent changes or made like lifestyle changes that have stuck, you might be stuck in this position. So this is for all the ladies who are struggling at the minute. And I spoke to someone last week, and she literally said this is who she is, and it's like her identity. So today's episode is stop starting again every Monday. And one of the main reasons I want to talk about this is because it's something I used to do drastically. I was the queen of start again Monday. Every single week. I did it for months and years. And I just had this perception. This was obviously before I was a coach. I talk about all these things and I'm like, this is before I was a coach and did the work on myself. And I don't do any of these habits now, but I've learned how to not have these like negative habits, and how my life's improved because I've stopped living in the start again Monday mindset. And I wanted to talk about it because I know a lot of you are stuck in it. I think growing up in diet culture, it just means that you're either on a diet or you're off plan. And it gives you this, I'll start again Monday. Monday's a fresh start. Oh, I've had the weekend. I'll just, oh, well, I've blown it. I'll start again next Monday. And that's the mindset that we've grown up with and the beliefs that we have. And unless you relearn those beliefs, and if you didn't listen to last week's, go listen back to last week's, because that's all about relearning beliefs and changing your mindset. Because if you don't do that, you'll always start again Monday, but you can change it. That's not your identity. That's not who you have to be. I've changed it. And I always say success leaves clues. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm not special. I always say this, I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing like, oh, well, it's just easy for Helen. No, I just relearned stuff. I think the only difference for me compared to some other people is, my dad said this to me once, and he said, oh, you don't have a fear of failure? And I'm like, well, I do, because everyone does, but I just do it anyway. It doesn't bother me if I try something and it doesn't work. I'll literally put my all in and then try it. But the problem is, most of you are like that, because a lot of the women I speak to are high achievers. They want to do well, or you do well in like other aspects of your life, as mother, as carer, as in your career, in like looking after your children or elderly parents, or being the matriarch, or just sorting everyone out, or, in your work, whatever you do, you're high achievers. But then when it comes to you, there's some disconnect there. And sometimes it's about relearning ways that are going to benefit you more. So I'm going to go through the 5 reasons you're having to restart every Monday. Number 1, okay, is you're trying to be perfect Monday to Friday, or Monday to Thursday, some people are. So you start on a Monday and you think, right, this is it. Yogurt for breakfast, salad for lunch, salmon and veg for dinner. Now, disclaimer, when I lived in Australia, this is near enough how I ate. And I talk about this openly a lot because it's ridiculous. And I didn't know about calories then. But if I were to count my calories on a Monday, they'd be ridiculously low, like starving myself. If a client came to me now and did what I did then, I'd be like, okay, red flag, what we're doing. This isn't good for you. So I thought it was most beneficial for me I got up at 5 o'clock on a Monday morning. I used to walk to the bus stop. I used to get a bus to the gym, right? Bus to the gym first. Then I'd go to the gym, shower, change, do a HIIT workout, a weighted HIIT workout, a really high intense workout, burn 500, 600, 700 calories. Not that matters how many calories you burn when you're exercising, but it does when then you're not refueling yourself. I'd then walk to another train station. So I'd already done probably 6,000 steps by this point. Get a train into Sydney city centre. Then I'd walk to the office. be there for 8:30 at my desk. Then I'd sit at my desk and I'd have my smoothie, which was high protein yogurt, spinach, blueberries. I think that was it. I think sometimes I'd have a handful of almonds as well. So we're looking at about 300 calories there, right? If that, girls. Okay, so just bear in mind, I've already been up, 6, 7, 8. By that, it's 9 o'clock, 4 hours. I've already done 5,000 to 6,000 steps, and I've already done a workout. I've literally probably already burnt 1,500 calories. And I've put my muscle into stress and inflammation, and then I've eaten 300 calories. Okay, just bear this in mind, because if you go back 5 years before then, I was overweight, and how I got thinner was a similar way. I just restricted, massively restricted. So then I thought to stay that size, I had to restrict. I need to find some pictures because I was so thin then. Tiny, I was tiny. I was like size 8. I used to like go out on a night out with, I used to drink a lot then as well, but I'll come to that in a minute. And I used to wear little short shorts and then like a bikini top. That's what I'd go out in, to the clubs. I was like 30 as well. Crazy. Right, so that's that. And then for lunch, I could tell you what I had every day because I had the same thing every single day. And for this job, I was office manager. And I'd be walking around the office and then I'd have to go out to the shops or to the post office, pick up supplies, get things. I was always walking, I was always moving around. So I was on about like 15 to 20,000 steps a day, easy. On my lunch break, I'd go for a half an hour walk and then I'd sit in the local park and read a book or sit somewhere and read a book. And I always had 4 plain rice cakes. Was it 3? I think it was 3. 3 plain rice cakes, a quarter of a tub of big tub of cottage cheese. You get massive tubs in Australia. A quarter of that. And then 1 tomato sliced into 3. That's how I can remember it because it was so specific. That's what I had every day. Every day. For like a year. So that's what? How many calories? Like it's 100 calories for the rice cakes, 100 calories for the cottage cheese, if that. And it's 200 calories. So far, in that day, I've had 500 calories. And I'm not kidding you. I wouldn't... In the office, we had sweets and biscuits and crackers and fruit and everything. No, I won't touch any of it. None. Then I'd carry on my day, work a full day, finish at 5, do all the journey back. So walk to the station, 2 trains, walking in between them. And then I'd get back to the house I lived at. And then for evening meal, I would have... I think I'd have 2 salmon fillets, but small ones, really thin ones from Aldi. And then kale slaw. That's what I had most nights. Which was like this big kale... I really like kale slaw, by the way, though. It's like big kale salad with like a yoghurt dressing. And then I'd have an apple and a handful of almonds. So that was probably another 500 calories, 600 calories. So I was on like 1,200 calories a day. And that is it. That is all I had. Monday through to Thursday. Maybe sometimes Friday. Then come Saturday, I would go out all day drinking. All the, like, drinking so much. Like probably 1,000, 2,000 calories worth of drinks. And then on Sunday, I'd eat probably 6,000 calories worth of food. No kidding. I'm not even kidding you. I'd order the biggest bit, I'd be hungover, and I'd plan it. I'd be like, I'm excited for this. It was really, it's really negative. It's not good behaviour. So I was starving myself during the week so that I could enjoy the weekend. Now, I'm not saying that you're doing that, but this example of what I did is like an extreme version of what you're doing. Because the science of it is the same. Like the reason I used to binge on a Sunday was because I did not give my body enough during the week. So then it just craved all this stuff at the weekend. Now mine was obviously planned. So that's the difference usually. With a lot of you, what's happening is it's get to the weekend and you just can't hold on any longer. Whereas I knew what I was doing. Massive, massive pizza all to myself. I feel so sick. And a kilogram of jelly sweets. A kilogram. I think I worked out there's like 2,000 calories in a kilogram of jelly sweets. So it was about 6,000 calories in this one day of eating. It was insane, girls. Absolutely insane. I do not recommend it and don't do it because I was really slim but I wasn't healthy. And then it was just like a negative habit and I was trying to get fitter and stronger and I wasn't. I just couldn't gain any muscle. Wasn't really getting any fitter. I'm surprised I didn't get injured. I was really slim, but I wasn't happy. It's not beneficial, and all the drinking and everything else that went with it. No, and then I'd be absolutely knackered after the weekend. And I'd start again Monday, and I just claw my way back through it. It's just horrific. And now knowing what I know about bodies and how we work, and like we need fuel. Our brains need fuel. Our bodies need fuel. We need energy for the day. And I'm happy with my size now, and I eat so much more, but so much more consistently. I don't binge anymore, and I can like have I've got in my cupboard downstairs bits like open bars of chocolate. Now I never used to be able to do this because I was like, that's a bad food. I can't have that. White bread, sweets, crisps, anything that you think is like a snack or treat food, cakes, chocolate, anything, bad. Whole food, good. So that's what I'd eat. But then I'd binge on all this. I'd end up eating more of the high fat, low nutrient dense food and all the booze as well, that it outweighed all the whole foods that I ate. Because if you look at my diet now, it's more consistent through the week. Yeah, I'll have treats, but I don't binge like I did then. I don't overeat like that. And so now I'm on like 80-20. Sometimes some weeks I'm 90-10, to be honest with you. But that's just the way that works for me. But then I was definitely probably 50-50, because you think Monday to Thursday, Friday, that's like 5,000 calories, maybe 6,000 calories actually. There you go, 6,000. Then the weekend and the booze would be like 9,000 calories. So I was actually eating more calories of poor quality food that's not giving me anything, and the booze as well, just literally just bad for you. Well, it's just poison. I have nothing against if you drink, you enjoy it, that's fine. But I was a massive binge drinker. We'd literally drink a whole crate of Corona before we even went out. Then I'd drink a whole bottle of gin. Honestly, the amount I used to drink was ridiculous. How I'm alive, I do not know. And I do not recommend it, but I'm just being honest and transparent with you. So every week I just went through this cycle because that's how I thought I got results. And it wasn't till it took me years to overcome this, because then even when I became a coach and a PT, I'd still eat good during the week, and then I'd still binge on a weekend, like have a day where I overate. Not to that extreme. I was never at that extreme, and I did start fueling myself better during the days. And then obviously I put on a bit of weight, because then I was like, oh, I was eating more during the day and I was still overeating at the weekend. And it wasn't till I learned this acceptance. So number one is plan your week. Every single meal, especially when you first start. You won't have to do this for life, because you'll start going through rhythms. Like I eat the similar thing every day now, and I'm happy with that. I also plan our evening meals every single week. I'm really like got a bit of an obsession with, we only go to the supermarket once a week, so I'll write the weekly menu on a Thursday. We write the shopping list. Martin usually goes on a Friday, and that's it. And even if we need to pick up other things, if we've forgotten them, like Martin was doing a steak night on Saturday, and I said, oh, what sauce have we got? And he said, oh, I forgot to get any. We can go to the shop on the way back. I was like, no, we'll do without, because I really want to stick with the rule of we only go shopping once a week instead of running in and out to shops. That's just me. It's a weird obsession. But you can go to the shops as much as you want, by the way. That's not a good or bad thing. That's just me being unusual. But with that, you've got your different meals each week. Evening meals, sorry. But my breakfast and lunches are the same, near enough every day. I have similar things. Oats for breakfast, omelette for dinner. Lunch, and then whatever we have for tea. But when you start out, you need to plan these in. And then on a weekend, allow yourself some treats. Like on a weekend dinner, like Martin will say, oh, should we just do stir fry? And I'm like, no, it's a weekend, and I'll make more effort. I'll make like a Chinese takeaway or pizza night or fish and chips. I like to do a lot of stuff homemade. You can have takeaways, but you have to just do that in moderation. But also, if you enjoy takeaway, don't not have them. You know, maybe just reduce them. Instead of having once a week, once a month, enough. Chocolate and crisps as well. If you really enjoy chocolate and crisps, don't completely banish them from your life, because that's the problem. You're starting Monday and going, I'll be good. And then it lasts so long, and then you have a glass of wine with your friend on a Thursday, or you have a biscuit at work in the office on Friday, and then you're like, oh, stuff it. I've ruined it now. I might as well give up. Whereas you've actually not ruined it. You've just had one glass of wine, which is like 100 or 200 calories. It's what you do the next meal that matters, and it's your mindset that matters most, about telling yourself that you're going to give up and, oh, you've ruined it, because it's too strict and too rigid. So one of the best things, like Carla is one of my best, well, I have loads of different actually success stories, but she's the one I think most obvious. I use her a lot on posts and social media, because her transformation is huge, as in like she lost 50 kilograms, and the difference, the before and after picture, is astonishing, like a different woman. But she still has crisps every day, because that's what keeps her on track. And if that's what keeps you on track, like a bourbon biscuit, if that keeps you on track, have a bourbon biscuit a day. It's not bad. There's nothing bad with it. It's worse that you're like, no, 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 and then you eat a full cake at the end of the week in secret. So you need to start trusting yourself, and this is you. Don't be like, I can't have stuff in the house, I can't do this. Yes, for a period of time, maybe don't buy it for a bit so that you can get rid of it. But a lot of you will have kids, and the kids will have snacks. And if you don't buy your own snacks, you'll eat the kids' snacks. And be honest, they're not as good. So one of my other clients who I'm working with at the minute, every single week she was doing really well. Her nutrition was balanced, she's not under fueling, she's eating enough, and then it gets Friday and she kept overeating, and it was like 4 cereal bars or 6 cereal bars, and I was like, right, let's talk about what's happening on a Friday. You're getting to the end of the week, you're tired, and you've been on your diet all week, and it feels like you're, a bit fed up of it because you're a bit tired as well. So what we do for her now, every single week, and this is for months, is we plan in a Friday treat. Every week she has a Friday treat, and it's either birthday cake or there's some lemon drizzle. And we've been doing this now consistently for about 2 months, I think. And she's not binged. She's not overeaten. She's worked on it. Yes, we had, I think we did 2-3 weeks where it worked, and then 1 week where it didn't. And we looked at that and why it happened, and it's because she was going to a barbecue that evening. She was going to save. She bought some donuts and she was going to save them for the barbecue instead of having the Friday afternoon treat, where she should. And then she ended up eating them all. So really, she should have had the one as the Friday afternoon treat. And this is what we do. We learn and we work on it and we overcome it. And I think it's about forgiveness, forgiving yourself and not getting annoyed. And then it's the next meal. So even if you have an event where you overeat, the next meal you don't go, all right, that's it, I've ruined it. No, you go, right, next meal, let's make that a better choice. And it's not a restrictive choice as well either. So there's either I've ruined it or there's back into restriction. No, just have a normal meal. A normal meal. Protein, nutrients, veggies, and, some fats are good as well, which like olive oil, avocados, like fish oils, nuts and seeds, egg yolks, healthy fats like that. A full balanced meal. So number 2 is you're treating the weekend like a reward. This is literally what I did. So you'll go through the week and you're like, I've been good, so I deserve this. Now, this is where it becomes more challenging because I also want you to have treats. So for me, I do have treats on a weekend, but it's not a free-for-all. It's more relaxed on a weekend, but I plan it in. I allow myself to have a bit of chocolate. Now, if you're a once you pop, you can't stop, don't buy yourself a massive bar of dairy milk, or buy it and then portion it out. When you buy it, put it into individual Ziploc bags, get a big pack of biscuits, put 2 biscuits into a Ziploc bags. It's so much easier to not overeat if you have portions, and you're allowed to use the portion. I also want you to make it a ritual. It's not just grabbing a biscuit, eating it as you go. You have a cup of tea, you sit down, you have a biscuit, you enjoy it. Make it a ritual. Make it like, this is me time, I'm having this. Then you stop after and you go about your day. But you also, there are rules around this, as in like, you also have to have a decent breakfast, lunch and evening meal, even on the days you're having the treats. Those normal meals don't go out the window just because you're having treats. Yes, if you're going out for an evening meal, that's a substitute, obviously. If you're getting a pizza takeaway, that's a substitute. But make homemade, to be honest with you, it's so much better. Man, it makes the best homemade pizza. So good. A meal is a substitute for a meal, that's fine. But if it comes like additional treats on top of that, like a few crisps, instead of just stopping at, in the afternoon and grabbing a bag of crisps, have you had lunch? No, right, you're not allowed your crisps after your lunch. Think back to when we were kids, or you can have a few crisps with your lunch. Think back to when you were kids and your parents used to be like, oh God, you have to finish all your plate before you have something else. Some of the things our parents taught us are actually right. So eat all your quality food first, your nutrient-dense food, and then you're allowed a treat on top. When I'd done the ultra, Martin bought me some big bags of crisps. I said, get me a big bag of crisps, some kettle chips. I don't normally have them. I normally have the Pop Works or the lentil chips, which I really enjoy anyway, or the rice cakes, crackers, and then I don't overeat them. But I said, no, get me some proper proper crisps. I want to enjoy a pack, and I've done an ultra, so I can have whatever I want anyway. So he got me some, but I still didn't just sit and eat the whole pack. I got a handful out and put it on my plate with my dinner, my lunch. And that's the difference. Don't take the whole bag with you. Portion control a massive bag of crisps, big bar of chocolate. Trust yourself that you can only have you have one bit. if you've had a bit and you want to go back for more, stop. Wait half an hour. Or have that and have like an apple and yogurt as well. But make sure you've had a good quality meal as well. You still need to be eating your regular meals as well as treats on top. Weekends, I think you need to have treats, but some people have treats during the week as well, and that's fine. You just need to manage them when you're having treats. But the weekend isn't a reward for doing well during the week. Back to Carla again, when she started working with me, she was doing really well, and then her progress slowed. This is when she'd first started, and I said, well, what are you doing for your weekends? Are you planning your weekend? She was like, no. I was like, you need to plan every day. It's not just plan your week, it's plan your weekends as well. That's what you need to start doing. You might think it's rigid, but at the end of the day, you just need to make peace with it's not rigid, it's just planning, and it's going to get you results. Look at what you're doing already. It's not getting you where you want to be. If you've got a blocker in your head that's saying, oh, but that's rigid and boring and blah, 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 that's a you problem. You've told yourself that. That's a narrative you've told yourself. Maybe other people tell you that. Okay? If someone said that to me, I'd be like, okay, cool. I don't care. It's not rigid. I'm not sat here weighing out, micrograms of fats in almonds or different things like that. I'm planning things because that's what then gets me the results that I want and deserve. There's a disconnect between you, your narrative, and what you want to achieve. So unless you change that narrative, you'll never achieve it. If you're constantly telling yourself, well, that's boring and rigid, I don't like tracking because it's too restrictive and da. That's fine. But just make peace with it. You'll never get results you want. There has to be some compromise. Number 3, you have an I've blown it mentality. This is the biggest one, right? So it's Thursday, you're in the office, you've taken overnight oats, you've had them for breakfast, and then you go to your meeting, and oh my God, the meeting is at 11:30 and it's booked in for an hour, right? But it goes on for 4. I once went in a meeting when I was a rep, well, I was a manager, team manager, and it was meant to be a couple of hours, and it was 8 hours, and there was no food. That was awful, by the way. That shouldn't be allowed. The regional manager, was ridiculous for that. Looking back on it, that was terrible. But say you're in a meeting and it's 11:30 and it's gone over, so you've missed your lunch, right? And they bring in sandwiches and cakes and treat, and you end up eating some, and you have some cake, and you overeat, and you're like, oh gosh, I've ruined it now, I've blown it. No, you haven't. You just get back on track next meal. The next meal. You don't then go, oh, it's Thursday, I might as well just get a takeaway tonight, and this is, stop, recenter. Again, this is your narrative that's making you fail, because you only fail when you quit, and you only quit if you just give up. So you just go, right, that happened. Okay, I might be over my calories for today. Reset, start again next meal. You don't restrict next meal, you just get back onto it. Half the time with my clients, when they do their check-in, and they'll say something like, oh, I had this meal out and this didn't go well, or I overate on this. And then I look at their whole week as a whole, because you do your weekly average. I'm like, no, you're still under your calories, so you're fine. I'm like, oh. Because they've got the perception that they've eaten this certain food or eaten a certain meal out or something, because in their head it's bad, quotation marks, they think it's going to send them over, but no. Most of the time it doesn't. But if you'd have just given up then and got the takeaway and then drunk the wine, then the next day you just got, oh, stuff it till Monday, that's when it's not worked. And you'll definitely put on body fat. Number 4, your plan only works when your life is perfect. So you've got a nice easy week and it's all going swimmingly, la 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 la, no social events, nothing going on. This is easy, I can do it, I can control it, I'm at home, I can do my meal prep, la 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 la. Then next week, the in-laws come to stay, or you're going round to your in-laws, let's say the other way, and your mother-in-law's cooking a roast and they've got wine, and then you're like, well, I can't now. I can't do this because it's out of my control, my life, No, you can. There's compromise for everything. When it comes to this, it's again about planning. So, what events have you got coming up? Where are you going? What are you doing? Okay, I'm off to the in-laws. We're there from Thursday through to Sunday. Mum's a feeder. Mother-in-law's his feeder. She makes cake. She has this, she has that. So, cake every day. Fry up for breakfast. La 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 la. You don't want to be rude. But she'll comment if you put on a few pounds. Do you know what I mean? It's this thing it's like, I don't want to be rude to these people and things like that, but you compromise. So you go, actually, I'm not going to have, I'm have the conversation and be like, I'm looking after myself, I'm trying to make changes, I'm feeling better. You probably inspire some people as well. And be like, instead of the fried breakfast, I'm going to have this instead. I'll bring my own stuff. Fine. Usually 9 times out of 10, they're like, no, we'll get it in. What do you want? Fruit and yogurt. And then you're like, for lunch, I'll have soup and, sandwich. And then for evening meal, usually good quality evening meals, just, I don't want seconds and please don't offer me dessert. Or, I'm going to have some cake over the weekend, but I'll have one piece on Saturday. It's about you laying down the law and your boundaries. If someone else is making a comment about you making your life better, healthier, happier, not obsessive, this is about your health and wellness, and they give you a negative comment, that shows more about them than you. 9 times out of 10, when you speak to people and you have people around you supporting you, they'll either say, oh, that's a really good idea, I agree with that, and they'll support it. Sometimes you just have to have some boundaries in place. There's always a plan. I've just started working with a lady and she works half her life at home, half the life on site at another area, actually in another country, because she's Scotland and Wales, so it is another country. And I've told her she has to literally communicate to me about where she's eating, because she's in a hotel, she's going to have different meals out every single day, and it's going to be about compromise. And this is what it has to be. It has to be education around what you're eating. Learn about like food choices, food groups, what you can have, what can you take with you instead if you're for a weekend in London. It's not just going to be, if you say, I'm going to have an all-you-can-eat buffet, breakfast, lunch and evening meal because I'm off to London, that's the only choice. That's your narrative. There is always choices, and you're not being restrictive. You're just trying to make your life better. Flip the narrative. And then if someone is calling you out for it in a negative way, if they're not a family member and you can't just, disassociate from them, are they really a friend? Are you a good friend? Ask them that. Are you a good friend if you're not supporting me? If someone's encouraging you to eat fried food and you don't want to eat fried foods, or get drunk and you don't want to get drunk, or different things like that, if they're not supporting you on your journey, it says more about them than you. So that's really important to remember. So the last one, number 5, which I've talked about all the way through this episode, is you haven't changed the beliefs driving your behaviour. And that's number 1. If you constantly say to yourself, well, I always do this, I always start again every Monday, that's my narrative, you will always do it. If you say to yourself, well, I always go back and restrict and always overeat on a weekend, you'll always do it. If you say to yourself, I can't resist cake, so whenever someone offers me it, I just have to have it, you'll always do it. You have to change your narrative. You flip it and go, I'm not going to be a person that starts again every Monday. I'm going to try my best this week. Every day is a fresh start to try again. Every meal's an opportunity to start again. I'm not going to let one meal off plan, or I don't like really saying off plan because nothing's a plan when you change your lifestyle choices, one piece of cake ruin my week. I'm not going to let someone else's opinion change how I feel and believe about hitting my goals and getting results. Because this is about feeling healthier and happy. It's not just about being a certain dress size. This is about you looking after your body for the rest of your life. Imagine you lied on your deathbed and just going, oh gosh, yeah, well, I'm dying of a heart attack because Susan always brought me cake and I couldn't say no. How ridiculous is that? I'm not saying you can't have these things. I'm not saying you can't have indulgences. It's just the quantity. You should be eating and consuming 80% of your diet should be whole foods. By that I mean nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, dairy. If you're vegan, go for vegan choices. Beans, legumes, lentils, tofu. If you eat meat and fish, white meat and fish majority of the time. Eggs. All the fruits and vegetables. Water. We should be looking after ourselves. And it's mad if you think about society and the way things have changed. And Western society definitely has a part to play in obesity. A big part, by the way. Huge. Food availability. Also, just like the quality of food you can get now when you're out and about. And just the lack of education around quality nutrition. I look back at my gran. She was born in 1914. She died last year, so she was 106. And I think back to what her life must have been like. So that was just out of World War One, rations. You were just like, there was no food then. People weren't obese then because there was no transport. There was no, they didn't have to sit and watch tellies. When she started working, gosh knows what age, 15, 16, I think she dropped out of school. She used to walk, I think, from Castleford to Leeds. I'm sure it's 7 miles there and back a day, to then be in a factory and work on her feet all day and probably eat like a cracker and something like bread and cheese or whatever, like some basic rations. She couldn't go to like McDonald's and sit in a car. She couldn't just go to a 24-hour supermarket. She could do. This is what I mean. So if you look at society over time, it has changed. We got to the 70s, 80s, and TV dinners, fast food became already available, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown in the past 30, 40 years. So it comes a point where you have to go, actually, stop. This isn't what I want to live like. And it's hard when you're stuck in the rat race of everyone else doing the same thing around you. And you'll notice if you have friends that are living a healthier lifestyle, doing diet, wellness, improving their diet and drinking a bit less. You can still drink, but drinking a bit less, going for walks instead of sitting and having coffee and cake. You'll do more of that. Whereas if you've got friends who only like to go out and, eat all you can eat buffets and drink loads of food and that, you'll do that. So you can get some friends and associates that do a bit of the others. You can also become a positive influence for any friend group. And this is what I see a lot with women is like our mate suggestions like, why don't you speak to your friend and say, should we go for a walk with our coffee instead of sitting down? And just small changes can make a huge impact. But unless you change your beliefs and behaviour, that's a you problem. No one else is going to do that for you. You have to do that. It might be listening to this podcast today where you have an aha moment and go, oh my God, what am I doing? You might be driving along now going, what? Or you might have already done it and be like, gosh, yeah, it's mad that I used to think that way. Or you might listen to this and go, no, I can't do that, it's not me. And then in 6 months' time, a year's time, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, you'll go, who's that girl who said this to me once? Because it'll have been in the back of your head. And then over time, it'll come forward. But if you sit here now and go, no, impossible, never, I refuse, and you push against it, you never will. So open your mind. Anything's possible when you think it. And just think as well, instead of focusing on being thinner, smaller, yes, you'll lose body fat and you'll become leaner and more toned when you make some improvements in your life. But this is about health. We want to be able to live as long as possible in these bodies. And I'm 39, I'm 40 next year. I might have double, maybe triple my life left. Hopefully not triple. I always say I want to live to 90, do an ultramarathon, then like just fall down at the finish line and that'll be it. Bye-bye. But you might have a long time left in this body. Even if you're in your 60s, you might have another 20, 30, 40 years. You want to be as able as possible. So that starts from inside out. What you're putting in your body. Everything in moderation though, because my gran lived 106 and she ate cake every day. Okay, so let's just say cake doesn't kill you. It's overconsumption of everything. And then not moving. That's not good for you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully this will give you some insight to being your last ever Monday restart. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if this has really resonated with you or struck a chord. And if you're listening to this and you want to find out more about how I can help you and make sure that you never have to start again on a Monday, because literally what I do with my clients is if they have a meal or a day or anything, I'm like, next meal, next day, straight back to it, no restriction. And it's something that I teach avidly within my coaching. So I'll put some details in the show notes, click the link there, book in a call, let's have a chat, no obligations, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a great week. Goodbye.